Hello everyone, and welcome to the Town Hall Update. I am James Milan. I am joined by Jim Feeney, our town manager. Today we are going to talk about a number of things as always. We're going to talk about the AmpUp kickoff event. We'll tell you what AmpUp is or remind you. There's some upcoming Arlington 250 events that we definitely want to know about, as well as street sweeping operations that you're probably familiar with, and then some new hires as well in the health department. All that comes after we talk about the fact there's a lot of interest, as you have pointed out before, Jim, in pedestrian safety, and particularly around the Park Ave corridor right now. So the town has a public meeting coming up on March 31st to talk about some possible solutions. I'm sure people are going to be very interested in that. What can you tell us?
Sure. So actually in the short term, and I was quite pleased as I was pulling into the ACMi parking lot this morning, I saw the DPW sign crew out there beginning the installation of a new series or array of advisory speed limit signage. So that underway today, Thursday, and last week they were out again on the Park Ave corridor installing new high-vis neon green yellow pedestrian crossing signage to help enhance visibility at our crosswalks. And now that the weather is breaking, hopefully we can start reapplying paint to crosswalks across town as part of our annual sort of refresh program. So some work already underway, but with an eye towards the future, we are planning some capital improvements for 3 key intersections along the corridor of Park Ave, including that with Oakland, that with Appleton Street, and that here with Paul Revere and Wollaston. So on the 31st at Town Hall, it's 6:30 p.m. The Department of Planning and Community Development and other town staff, as well as our consulting traffic engineer, Stantec, will present some preliminary design concepts that have been sort of born out of this existing conditions analysis that was just completed, that set the groundwork and the stage for what options may be possible for the town to construct at these locations. So we're going to present some preliminary concepts to the public, get some feedback, incorporate that feedback, and then hopefully hone in on a preferred preliminary concept that we can continue to engineer and then bring before the select board and get approval on a final design concept that we can then further engineer and start to create a plan to build. And in all likelihood, looking at our available capital funds, and we'll probably have to proceed intersection by intersection, but in doing so, that will probably allow us to move more quickly than trying to fund a much larger project all at once, and that may only serve to delay things. So we're trying to tackle things on a short-term basis, but also with an eye towards a long-term both accessibility and safety improvements.
Well, I go up and down Park Ave myself every day, getting to and from ACMi, so I'm particularly appreciative of the things that you've just said, and that are the changes that are happening right now, as well as the future plans, because as a driver, you want to do the right thing, and I can say these will help us in that way for sure. All right, let's move on. I had mentioned AmpUp, and AmpUp, of course, is the kind of catchy title for Arlington's master plan update, and you've got an important kickoff event to tell us about.
Sure. So James, that'll be happening on April 3rd. This will be the first event in a series of events designed to share information and hear from as many people as possible to inform what is now being referred to as a comprehensive plan as it is being developed. There's a trend in the municipal setting to move away from the master plan nomenclature to what's called a comprehensive plan. So for those who are not aware with what is now called a comprehensive plan, it's a document that will serve as a guide for land use and development decisions over roughly a 10-year time frame. The current plan that we have now was adopted in 2015, so obviously we are due for an update. And out of that process that we had gone through previously, We developed and implemented the Net Zero Action Plan, the Connect Arlington Sustainable Transportation Plan. We've recodified our zoning bylaws, and many other initiatives are really born from this process. So we're obviously seeking input from our residents, from business owners, everyone in the community. Want them to come together and begin to visualize ways to make Arlington an even better place to live, work, and visit in the future. So on April 3rd, DPCD will be putting on this sort of first kickoff event. We invite as many people as possible to join.
Well, like you said, the last one was back in 2015, and I can tell you that we've had guests in this studio within the last 6 months talking about things that are being affected by that plan. So even 9.5 years later, people's lives are impacted by whatever our joint values and decisions are that are contained in that plan. So I hope people will take this seriously and the opportunity for input. So April 3rd is the beginning of it all, and thanks for letting us know about that. Let's talk about Arlington 250. It is coming.
Talk about a lot of planning. Many tabletop exercises and joint meetings with surrounding communities have been underway in earnest for the past few months to prepare for all of these upcoming activities next month that will surround our nation's semi-quincentennial celebration. Here in Arlington, obviously, we have the highly anticipated Battle of Monotony reenactment on Sunday, April 20th. I think we'll probably talk more about that in a future update. But we do have two events upcoming in the near term. So on April 5th, Arlington's Tourism and Economic Development Committee, more conversely known as ATED, is hosting a cleanup day in preparation for the big weekend of events. So this will take place on April 5th. There are going to be two shifts from 10 a.m. to 12 noon and from 12 noon to 2 p.m. The groups will be meeting in the northwest corner of the Russell Common municipal parking lot at the start of each shift, and then breaking up from there. And then on the 6th, the next day, the Arlington 250 Committee will have their kickoff event at the Capitol Theater in East Arlington. That event will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and there will be all sorts of great stuff at this event. There will be crafts for kids, colonial music and dancing, Arlington 250 exhibits and information about the events to come. There'll be a Battle of Monotony lecture, a selfie station with William Dawes, and most importantly, there will be a free ice cream sundae bar. But theater snacks, beer, and wine will also be available for sale through the Capitol Theater at that time. So the event is free, and we are very grateful for the financial support of Leader Bank, who is helping make these events possible.
That is great, and kind of just getting the motors revving for what is to come. Like you said, we'll talk more about April 20th soon. Sooner than you think, probably. All right, so obviously, I think we're all aware of these times of the year when the street sweepers, my goodness, street sweepers are out. So just, let us know what we need to, please.
Sure, yeah, in the municipal world, the arrival of street sweepers is an indicator that spring is here.
Exactly.
So our spring townwide street sweeping operation has begun. Really wanted to mention it today just to remind everyone that if they haven't done so already, to visit the website and update their Arlington Alert profile. If you provide your cell phone number or email address, we can text or email when the street sweepers are going to be in your neighborhood. This year, we're providing a 2-day window of time for when street sweepers will be in your neighborhood. In prior years, we had done next day, but we're hopeful this 2-day date range will allow street sweepers to better accommodate existing conditions and even clean more streets if conditions allow. So for example, in years past, if we had a mechanical failure on a street sweeper or an emergency that called staff away, they would then need to go back the next day, but residents wouldn't be expecting that, and cars were parked out in the street. Or conversely, if they're making really good time, if some of the streets weren't necessarily as dirty and didn't require as many passes, then they could proceed to the next route on a given day without having to stop because we hadn't properly noticed the neighborhood. So we're going to try a 2-day notification window this season and see how it goes. And I also just want to mention to folks that, it's a practice that we've seen. If someone sees a street sweeper go by once, they immediately go out and, think they're done and start parking in the street. But it's not always the case that it's one and done. They may circle a neighborhood. They may need to make a second pass. They may not be done. They may have pulled out to empty the hopper on the street sweeper, may have got called away to something else, and they may be returning a little bit later. So we ask folks to just be a little bit patient. They may not be done right away. So really, it's best to give a day after the sweepers come through to ensure a clean sweep. We don't want to impede, making a second pass, because if there's a lot of debris, it may take 2 passes through.
That makes a whole lot of sense. That 2-day, it's a good innovation. Somebody had a good idea there with the 2-day window, even though I have to say, guilty as charged as one of those people who has seen the street sweeper go by and then put the car on the road. Sorry about that, folks. All right, moving on. I think we've got just one more thing to talk about, at least officially, and that's Health Department and new hires.
Yeah, sure. So Department of Health and Human Services, a few key hires to report. The first of which is that Kylee Foley has been hired as our Public Health Director, and she will oversee the Health Department in the team of public health nurses and health compliance officers, et cetera. So together, the Health Department, they will conduct communicable disease surveillance and investigation, assess community health needs, and enforce federal, state, and local public health laws. Kylee, will be leading up the department and will be providing leadership in the development of public health programming and different vaccination clinics, and really a whole myriad number of things. She will serve as the staff liaison to the appointed 3-member Board of Health. So just note that Kylee is actually from Arlington, did do a stint with the Arlington Health Department a number of years ago, and ironically actually did job shadowing with me back when I was the health compliance officer in the Arlington Health Department. So we're very pleased to have Kylee back on the team. She's, an outstanding fit for this role.
Yeah, I mean, and we know we're not so far removed from the COVID pandemic that we forget just how important that department and the great leadership in that department has been for the town, and will continue to be. So thanks for that. And somebody else as well you want to tell us about.
And then Denisa Burt has been hired as the new Community Resource and Homelessness Prevention Coordinator. So Denisa has been a welcome addition to the HHS team, Health and Human Services, since coming on board in late December. So she's going to be working with Arlington residents under the age of 60 to identify and facilitate access to local, state, and federal assistance resources to address anything from housing instability to food insecurity to unemployment and economic instability, access to health care and other basic resource needs. Obviously, the senior population is served through the Council on Aging, but this role is geared towards serving those under the age of 60. She will also work in close collaboration with the police department, other staff in the Department of Health and Human Services, as well as Arlington Public Schools and what is known as the Arlington Human Services Network, out in the community to conduct outreach to and coordinate services for people experiencing currently or at risk of homelessness. So it's a really critical role in the community, and so far Denisa is doing an excellent job and has really hit the ground running.
100% critical role in the community. You said it perfectly, and good luck to Denisa.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else to share today, Jim?
That's it for today.
You sure? Okay. That sounds good. Jim Feeney, of course, is our town manager, and we have been talking in this town hall update about a number of relevant topics, as we always do. We appreciate Jim taking the time to be here. We really always do. Busy man. And we appreciate your time as well. So until next time, this is Town Hall Update, and I'm James Milan. We'll see you then.